Good evening and welcome, everyone. I'm your host, Alicia Whitney. Please drop in the chat where you're joining us from tonight. I see New York. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. I see LA and London. Wow, this is global. I see North Carolina. Amani from Detroit. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Tanya from New York. East Coast is in the house. Thank you. Okay, I see Wiley, Texas. Yes, thank you. All right, so let me know in the chat, are you currently running a business or are you thinking about starting a business? Are you in that idea phase? Just drop your answer in the chat. So Maurice is thinking about starting a business. Okay, we see a lot of people thinking about just running a business. Okay, that's fantastic. Well, tonight is not just about starting a business. It's about building something rooted in purpose, culture, and impact. And our guest today is someone who has done exactly that. Let me introduce you to our incredible speaker, Frances Hoffman, founder of Yah'den Enterprises, a thriving Afrocentric fashion brand built in just 4 years. And what I personally love, she donates 10% of every sale to undeserved communities. She's not just building a business, she's building a mission. Frances, welcome. We are so excited to have you here.
Hi everyone! Thanks for joining. I'm so excited to have everybody here tonight. I'm so excited. Thank you for coming. Thank you for signing up for our webinar, or my webinar. Thanks, Alicia.
Awesome.
For being
Yes,
here.
you're so welcome. All right, well, let's get started here. For someone watching right now and feels that they have an idea but don't know where to start, what would you say to them?
I would say you already further than you think. Most people never even get to the idea stage because they're too afraid to even start that dream or fulfill that dream. The biggest mistake is waiting to feel ready. I didn't feel ready when I started my brand, honestly. I just started with what I had. Remember, you should start small, start messy, but with purpose. Because clarity doesn't come before action, it comes through action.
I love that. Now, Frances, take us back to the beginning. How did Yah'den actually start?
Good question. So, Yachting started from a very personal space. I've always had a deep love for African culture, fabrics, and storytelling. But more than that, I wanted to create something meaningful, something that represented identity, heritage, and pride. From the beginning, it wasn't just business, it was a passion. Okay? And over time, that passion turned into a brand and a movement. And here I am today.
Wow. Now, was there a moment when you realized that this could be something real?
Absolutely. I remember when I first made my first few sales, there were people who were just not buying. They were actually connecting with me. People would message me saying, "This made me feel seen. This reminds me of home." And that's when it clicked to me. This is something I've created something that's more than just clothes. I realized that I wasn't just selling products. I was building something that actually touches people. That's a great
Now, I
question.
love that. Yes. Yeah, I love that because you built this brand in just 4 years. And that's something most people struggle with. What do you think
Absolutely.
people are doing wrong when they try to start a brand today?
Yeah, a lot of people focus on aesthetics before setting up a foundation. People are worried about logos, colors, and being perfect, but they haven't really defined their purpose for their business. Your brand is not about your logo; it's the message that you deliver. If you don't know the people you're serving and what their needs are, no amount of marketing or logos will fix that problem.
Okay, now let's be honest because most people need to hear this part. What was some of the hardest moments in your journey?
Yes, great question. There are moments, or there are still moments that things don't go as planned. Inventory issues, slow sales, figuring out marketing, and even doubling myself. And yes, there were moments when I felt in the past that it was not really going to work. But you know what? I focused on my why I wanted to do this. And with a mission that is bigger than just you as the business owner or as the entrepreneur, quitting is not an option. So you should always have that mindset.
Now, did you ever feel like giving up?
Absolutely. I think every entrepreneur has those moments. But I had to remind myself this vision was given to me for a reason. And if I quit, I'm not just quitting on a business, I'm quitting on an impact that I want to make. So instead of quitting, I always adjust, I learn more, and I just keep going.
I love that, Frances. And one thing that really stands out about Yah'den is how rooted it is in African culture. Why was it important for you to build a brand that reflects heritage, not just trends.
Right, because culture is identity. For many of us living in the diaspora, reconnecting to that identity is very powerful. I didn't want Yah'den to be just fashion. I wanted to tell a story, to celebrate where I came from and remind people of who I was and who they are. So that makes my brand different, and that makes me deliver a message that is meaningful.
And you also give back through your business, correct?
Absolutely. From the beginning, I knew that my business was never going to be just about profit, because success means more when it's shared. That's why I donate 10% of every sale to local charities and charities that are abroad, or missions that are abroad. It keeps me grounded. It reminds me that this business has a purpose that is beyond me. It has a meaning.
I like that. So I want to pause here just for a second. And for our audience and everyone listening today, if you could please drop in the chat, if you are someone who wants to build a business that is both meaningful and profitable, type yes in the chat. Gonna see a whole lot of yeses. All right. So Francis, yes, we're seeing a whole lot of people saying yes, that they want to start something that's meaningful. They want to be able to give back to their businesses as well, give back to their communities. Now, this is where it gets really exciting, because you didn't just build a business and build a brand, but you want to help other people do the same. Why did you want to do this webinar?
Yes, great question. Because I know how hard it is to figure this all alone, all by yourself. There is so much information out there, but it's not always the right guidance. When I started, I made mistakes and I've learned lessons. I've tested what works. And now I want to give others a blueprint so they can build faster, smarter, and with purpose. So that's why I hosted this webinar. And I'm not going to stop here. There are going to be other webinars in the future as well.
Great. Now, can you tell everyone what they can expect to learn from this webinar today?
Yes, great question. So today I'm going to break things down in a practical way. You're going to learn how to go from an idea to a brand, how to build something that stands out, and most importantly, how to build a business that is both profitable and meaningful. So if you be feeling stuck or unsure, you are in the right place tonight. And I'm excited to have you here.
All right, everyone, get your notebooks ready, because Francis is about to walk you through the blueprint. Francis, take it away.
Thank you, Alicia.
You're welcome.
So let's start. We're going to start with our vision and the movement. First of all, tonight, let's define Afropreneurship. I don't know if anybody have heard that word, but what is Afropreneurship? Afropreneurship is a global movement. It's not just a business model. It's about celebrating and reclaiming your African identity, or reclaiming your identity as a person of Afro descent. True entrepreneurship. It's more than commerce. It represents a resurgence of pride in your identity. Every product you sell or every product you market should tell a story. And every brand that's focused on Afropreneurship should carry a legacy. So let's start about women. I know there are a lot of women on here tonight. I'm not saying, I know of there are guys that have probably joined the webinar. I'm not saying that guys are not doing a great thing, but I want to let you guys know that women are actually taking the lead in this business model. We are at the forefront of this movement, and that's a great thing. So this is a great time for you to start, because a lot of women are taking the initiative of getting into this adventure. With doing this, you are breaking through traditional barriers with innovation and vision. You are playing a vital role in this transformative process or this transformative journey. The new face of Afropreneurship is bold, creative, and unapologetically female. There are a whole lot of women doing this. So this is a great time for you to join the movement. So let's talk about products. People usually don't buy products. They buy stories. So as a modern brand or brand that is Afrocentric, you usually succeed by telling your story. You are not just selling products. Your brand should deliver a message of a vision, a mission, a purpose. A lot of entrepreneurs are sharing stories that resonate with their heritage. So if you have an idea of where you're from, that should be your why for starting your brand. And you should tell that story. This approach elevates brands and fosters a sense of community. So if there is somebody else who has a connection to a particular culture that you're representing based on your research and knowing where you came from, and you want to tell that story as a part of your brand, it will connect that consumer to you. So consumers connect emotionally with brands that reflect their identity. Your heritage is not a limitation. Always remember that. It is your competitive advantage. So did you know there's a global audience waiting for you? Yes. It's not like back in the day when we didn't have the internet. People will have to, if you want to start a business, you had to open a local store or a brick and mortar store and kind of advertise to people in your community. The times have changed and the internet has given us a global audience. There are people all around the world that are willing to support you. Okay, so the rise of digital platforms has revolutionized how Afropreneurs operate. You don't have to operate in a brick and mortar store. Okay, so you can now reach customers far beyond your local communities. Social media is also a powerful tool that helps you connect to customers worldwide. The internet has actually removed this barrier, and that keeps African brands not only local but worldwide, and that's a great thing, and you should know that. So you have a great chance of succeeding in this arena. So let's talk about how our culture and our conscience equals our brain power. So if you are going to start an Afrocentric business, a lot of African entrepreneurs or people who are in this business, they source materials and products that are handmade through traditional methods. This actually make you stand out. So for example, you want to start a business selling clothing. You're going to be purchasing your clothing from maybe a vendor in Nigeria. Your clothing are going to be made from unique fabric, a fabric that is handmade and is one of a kind. And it will connect your consumers to culture. So this act promotes environmental consciousness while preserving cultural heritage. You will attract consumers that way. And today, a lot of consumers or people who will support you are actively seeking values they believe in. People want to connect to the heritage. They want to connect to who they are. They want to wear items that are related to the culture. They want to connect to the culture. Okay, so that makes your brand very powerful. If you choose a particular culture and you want to source products relating to that culture, that makes your brand really powerful. Sustainability and heritage are not opposites. They are your brand's greatest strength. So this is a path for you to take. So you should remember that as an entrepreneur, you should build integrity and leave a legacy. Your brand should build integrity and leave a legacy. And like I said, you should have a mission and a vision and a purpose that's rooted in culture, and heritage. The goal is not to exploit aesthetics. It is to foster stewardship. You should build a brand that creates a meaningful impact beyond profit that will make you succeed and grow faster. Sustainable wealth always starts with a purpose-driven foundation. The brands that survive in this arena are the ones that are rooted in truth and intention. It all goes back to having a great vision and a great mission and making an impact. So let's talk about our unique value proposition, your UVP. This should be something, you need to write this down, your unique value proposition. This is something about every brand that makes you stand apart from the rest. There are a lot of people selling African products worldwide. What makes you stand out? Your unique value proposition. You should define your unique value proposition. Your unique value proposition should deliver three things. One, it should be culturally authentic. You should sell products or services that have African roots or heritage. For example, if you sell clothing, like I mentioned before, it should be clothing that comes from a culture in Africa. If you sell jewelry, your jewelry should connect with a culture in Africa. It should have a meaning. Two, your brand should deliver an impact. Impact means the outcome of what's your vision, what's your mission. One, it could be helping your community. Maybe you donate based on your sales, you donate or support your community, right? You could do back to school giveaways, give items that connect young people to culture. You could also support people abroad that make your products. You are financially supporting them by sourcing products from them. A third thing about your unique value proposition is that it should give people a sense of an emotional connection. So when they buy products from you, they should feel connected to their culture. So if you sell kente cloth is unique to Ghana. So you're going to attract a lot of consumers that have Ghanaian heritage. That's a country in West Africa. That's just an example I'm giving you. So your unique value proposition should deliver those three things. It should be authentic, culturally authentic. It should provide, it should deliver an emotional connection to culture, and it should also have an impact. So when you're defining your unique value proposition, that thing that's going to make you stand apart from everybody else that's selling African products or delivering an African service. When I say service, maybe somebody who wants to start a business, a travel business that takes people to Africa. It should deliver those three things. That will make you stand apart. So your unique value proposition communicates the distinct benefits only your brand can offer, right? So you can blend your personal heritage with your business goals. For example, I'll talk about Yah'den. Our unique value proposition is African fashion with a charitable mission at its core. So that's just an example. So you should be thinking about what your unique value proposition is going to be now. So let's talk about crafting an authentic identity. So as an Afropreneur, we should be honoring heritage without appropriation. So the products that you are going to sell in an Afrocentric brand should, like I said before, they should connect individuals with culture. So like I mentioned, kente cloth. If you selling dresses that are made of kente cloth is unique to Ghana in West Africa. It represents class. It represents kings and queens. Okay. So it's going to connect individuals to your brand who have heritage in Ghana or who want to stand out. If you sell jewelry made of cowrie shells, I'm wearing one tonight and she's wearing one as well. So cowrie shells were historically used in Africa as a currency. So people will want to buy your cowrie shell jewelry because why? They want to connect with African history. They want to wear something from the motherland. If you sell mud cloth outfits, mud cloth is a unique outfit that comes from Mali in West Africa. It has a historical heritage, or historical for people in the Mali culture. It was used, or is used, by hunters, and it also represents Malian culture. So all these things are unique to an Afrocentric brand. It will definitely make you stand out by sharing heritage and by culture, and by sharing heritage and culture. The key is respect, research, and authentic connection to the culture. Create a cohesive brand identity that pays homage, not one that exploits. Your brand should feel like a celebration, not a custom. So that's about heritage without appropriation. So we should always listen before we launch our brand. Before you launch your brand, your UVP, as we mentioned before, your unique value proposition, must align with what your customer actually find valuable. So if you're in a particular area, you want to ask questions if you're going to start a business, because as much as you're going to be maybe start online, you also want to know what local people are interested in your community. What would they buy? What do they need? What problem will your product solve for them? So you have to conduct surveys, hold focal groups, or use social media to listen to what people in your area are saying about what they will purchase from you if you are going to start such a business. You have to understand what your potential customers are looking for in an African team brand. This will really help you succeed. The most authentic brands are built in conversation with their communities, and that's something you should pay attention to before you start. So let's talk about visual identity. A lot of people focus on this, but it's also important. Color choices evoke specific emotions in your audience. As an Afrocentric brand, earthy tone signal connection to nature and heritage. Vibrant hues reflect energy, passion, and boldness. So you should take these elements into consideration when you create your brand colors, because every visual decision communicates something and makes it intentional. So the visuals are important, colors are important, but your brand voice does matter. Building a brand that goes beyond logos and colors is very important. Your brand voice reflects your values, your mission, and your heritage. It must be consistent and authentic across every message. Your message should be the same all the time. Your why, your purpose, your mission, and your vision. It should be the same and consistent all the time. Truth is built through consistency. So you have to show up the same way every time. You can move to the next slide. So let's talk about the business engine. Let's talk about the finance part, or how the financial part of managing our business. Every entrepreneur should make their business official. Registering your business is a very crucial first step to protect your brand. First of all, it makes you legal, and it shows people or your consumers that you are, you can be validated based on that. You also have to choose the right structure of your business. You can either be a sole proprietorship, a partnership, or a limited liability company, which is everybody sees everywhere, LLC. Your structure affects your liability, your taxes. As a business owner, you have to pay taxes, and how others see your business. Legitimacy always opens the door, not passion alone. So you have to be legal and legitimate and do the right thing. So another thing, a lot of mistakes that entrepreneurs make is that they don't keep their business accounts separate from their personal account. You have to do that. You have to open a dedicated business bank account from day one. Mixing your business and your personal together creates a lot of confusion and risks. You could get in trouble. Doing that, If you separate your business and your personal account, you will create clean financial boundaries. You will build credibility with partners and investors. So you should always do that. It also makes accounting and tax filing significantly easier. So you should keep that in mind when you're starting your business. So you should know your tax obligation. It's pretty much, there are a lot of things that are similar from state to state, but there are little differences based on different states. So you must always remember you have to know your tax obligations. You should understand income tax, VAT if you are overseas out of the US, and any other local business taxes that apply. Proactively learning all of these protects your financial health. You should always consult a professional early. Try to get help from an accountant or a bookkeeper, somebody that's going to be there to help you, educate you, or be able to help you with the financial part of your business and your tax obligations. Always invest in an accountant or bookkeeper. So let's talk about investors. If you are going into a business, you want investors. You want people to help you start. Okay? So one thing you should always have, or you should prioritize, is creating a compelling business plan. A compelling business plan is essential when seeking investment. It must articulate your vision, your mission, and your financial projections in your market analysis. How you are going to market these products? What is your vision? What is your mission? What's the purpose of your business? So securing capital requires a detailed and professional document, which is your business plan. Your plan will show investors or donors or somebody who's going to give you a loan or a grant. They will show that you are a serious person and you have a purpose. Your business have a purpose. Okay? It will help the investors understand both the opportunity and the risk you are undertaking to be able to invest in your business. So a business plan is very important when starting. You have to document your ideas. You have to put your ideas onto paper. And one thing a lot of entrepreneurs don't know, there's a lot of capital out there. There are a lot of grants for minority founders. The free funding do exist. There are millions of dollars in grants specifically designed to support minority entrepreneurs, including those from historically underrepresented and marginalized communities. The requirement is grants aren't just awarded for ideas alone. You need to demonstrate a clear, well-structured, and financially viable business model. And that's where your business plan comes in. So your ideas have to be documented. They have to be put on paper, okay, to get these grants or secure this funding. So the action of the step is what? Create a strong, well-structured business plan before you apply for any funding or any grant or any loan for your business. Okay, so we've been talking for a while. We need to take a quick pause. A quick pause. Let me check in with you guys. What's been your biggest takeaways so far? Drop it in the chat. We looking for your chat. Put it in the chat. So waiting to hear from you. You have to, okay, so Akut says register your business in a good business plan. Perfect. That's the best. That's the first step. Great. Know your why, your purpose, your mission, and your vision, your UVP. You need to set that up. Yes, and that will make you succeed. Great answers. Great answers. I love that. Know your why. Great, great. Okay, we're waiting. Keep chatting. Register your business and know your brand, Tanya. Thank you. Yeah, that's awesome. Yes, know your brand. Know who you serve. Great, great answers. I love that. I love that. Okay, so let's take this a step further. If you already have a business idea, drop your brand name in the chat. What do you think your brand name is going to be? And if you don't have a name yet, that's okay. But just kind of create something in your mind. Okay, so we have Lori commented, the biggest takeaway is my business, you resonate. Yes, your values, exactly. Great answer, Lori. I love that. With your values, who you are, what you stand for. Great. I love that. So I'm waiting for those brand names. Go ahead and drop your brand. What do you think your brand name would be? Drop it in the chat. Okay, I'm seeing fashion brands. I'm seeing skincare. I'm seeing, okay, skincare. I see sunrise hats. I love that. Oh my God. Selling Ankara rack coming from YouTube. Ankara hats. Oh, that's beautiful. We do have Ankara hats by Yah'den. That's a good niche. Yes, that's powerful. I love that. So fashion brand, skincare, that's great. Travel business, yes. You want to take people to Africa? Yes. Africa, the Africa travel agent. Yes, I'm rooting for that. I love that. The continent is big and vast. There are a lot of countries, different culture. A travel business to Africa is a great service business. So you should get started with that. It's great. Yes. Then we have Drift Studio, designing recycle. Okay, that's great. Art and jewelry. That's perfect. I love that, Tanya. Good job. I love that. It's coming together. Yes, I'm glad you guys are coming up with Strike Fashions. Ooh, I love that. Strike. I love that. Great. From Akut, that's nice. Strike Fashion, beautiful. Okay, so now I want you to really think for a second. All these ideas that you've been typing, these aren't just ideas. These are actually things or that could actually exist with your name on them. Do you know that? So you can actually make this come alive. And that is why you're here tonight, because I'm here to help you bring your ideas alive. So I see Tanya oh yeah, that's beautiful, Tanya. Oh my goodness. I need to connect with you. Yes, that's beautiful. That's nice. Very nice. African fabrics. Great. Okay. So the truth is, most people just stay in the idea phase. They never move forward. They have the idea, but they never build on that idea. That's why you're here tonight. So if you be thinking about this, that means you moved a step ahead. That means you're ready to take the next step. So I'm glad to have you here tonight. So let's go back to learning. Okay, so let's talk about thriving in the digital market space or the digital space. Our world is now a digital world. Everything is online. You can find everything online. So let's talk about a website. Your website is your digital storefront. This is your, as an entrepreneur or as a brand owner, this is your consumer or your customer first encounter with you. So you should always build a professional website, because it is the digital phase of your business. By logging onto your website or by clicking on your website, it's going to tell a story about who you are, who the founder is. So your website, one thing, it must be a couple of things. It must be mobile friendly, because most users will access it from their phones. The site should cater to how modern consumers shop. Okay, so it doesn't have to be very fancy, but it should be organized and done professionally. First impressions online are as important as first impressions in person. So always make sure you have a well-designed and professional website. E-commerce. E-commerce is your global bridge. So e-commerce is marketing your products online. And that's what everybody's doing now. A lot of people are doing that now. Okay. So this is a great time to start your business, because we're realizing that a lot of brick and mortar stores are closing down. Everybody's online. Okay. And people want products that are unique. Okay. Products that tell a story, that are authentic, that are not mass produced. Okay. So it's a great time for you to get into this business. Okay. This way for you to make this move as an Afropreneur, because you will be marketing authentic products, products that tell a story, products that are unique. Okay. So e-commerce has revolutionized how African teen brands reach their audience. It allows entrepreneurs to connect with customers across the globe. Local brands can now scale rapidly with a physical presence everywhere. So you could be in Chicago and have a customer purchase something from you in Australia. Can you imagine that? That's awesome. So this gives you the opportunity to grow your brand. So this is the time for you to start, a time for you to start. So let's talk about visual storytelling on social media. Now the internet has given us platforms for us to tell our story. Platforms for us to talk about our mission, our vision, and attract consumers to us. You know, your story is going to help you connect with somebody who wants to connect with a particular culture that you represent. Okay. So Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok are essential for African teen brands. It's essential. So make sure when you're starting your brand, you're thinking about having presence on these platforms. These platforms are actually built for storytelling. Your heritage is visual. It can be seen through the stories you tell on the platforms. So you will be able to showcase craftsmanship, the process of how your products are being sourced or how they are being made and where they come from. You tell the story about your products and the people behind your brand. That creates authenticity. It makes your brand authentic on social media. And this helps people build trust in you, and that converts to sales. So we have to utilize social media as Afropreneurs. Another way of using the digital platform is to partner with creators who share your values. Okay, so you can collaborate with influencers. They can significantly enhance your brand's visibility. So if they have the same passion or vision as you can connect with them to help you market your products. You should seek out digital creators who genuinely connect with African culture. Authentic partnership reach audiences who are already in line with your vision. Also, community leaders. There are also community leaders who will kind of share the same vision and mission with you. You can also use these individuals to help to bring that visibility to your brand. Micro influencers as well. They also deliver they deliver for your business. Okay, so you can use micro influencers, community leaders. Okay, next screen. Okay, so let's talk about our triumphs and our challenges. So the market won't always understand you. Okay, you have to educate them. So entrepreneurs often face misunderstanding and stereotypes in the market. This is something that happens all the time. So somebody purchased something from a brand that was selling African products or Afrocentric products before, and they didn't have a good experience. So by telling your story, you get rid of that stereotype. Okay, and with your mission, your vision, your why, the impact you make is also going to make people have a positive mindset about your business, and they're not going to think that you are the same as every business that they had a bad experience with. So addressing stereotypes requires open dialogue. You have to have open communications with people who want to connect with you or potential customers, meaning you have to respond to messages and you have to educate them about what you do, how you do it, and why they will not have the same problem with you. So you have to be ready to communicate with people. Okay, when you get a message on Facebook or on TikTok about your products, always make sure you respond. And also, your brand story is your most powerful tool. You have to tell people your why, your mission, and your vision. Goes back to that. Okay, it's the most powerful tool against misconceptions. Brands that lead the conversation shape how the world sees African culture, of course, and how the world sees you as a brand or as an entrepreneur or as a brand owner. So competition. Let's talk about competition. Competition is here. Okay, it exists. And you know what? It's a good thing because it shows that our products are in demand. Okay? So we based on competition, we have to go back to our unique value proposition. Okay? So that's why you have to have a unique value proposition. Your brand should deliver authenticity. It should deliver a sense of emotional connection, and it should have an impact. That's going to make you beat that competition in the market. It's going to make you unique. The brands that win are the ones that lean into what makes them different. So always remember those three things have to be defined in your brand or by your brand. There are names on there that we see that they've been doing well and they're thriving, but they do have a unique value proposition. They do things that make them different and stand apart from the rest. So you should be thinking about what your UVP is going to be because there's a lot of competition in the market or in the marketplace. So let's talk about resilience. There's a saying that goes, entrepreneurship is not for the weak. No, it's not. It's a struggle and it's hard. It's not easy, especially when you're starting. Okay? It takes a mental toll. Okay? When you're building a business, it's hard. So you have to acknowledge that and you have to be resilient. You have to develop a resilient mindset. Okay? It allows you to bounce back from obstacles. You should value self-care. It is not a luxury for you. Take that time off. Take that little short trip. Give yourself a massage. Okay? Something like that. Go to the spa. You know, there will be good days and there will be bad days. So you have to remember that you have to have a resilient mindset. It's a strategy to run a successful business. The saying goes, you cannot pour into an empty cup. You have to protect your energy. You should celebrate every win and do that on social media. Your first sale, you have to make it big. People will be like, oh, we say haters. They be like, oh, it's just one sale. She just started. No, you have to celebrate that win. Make it big. Okay? Flex. You make that first sale, you flex about it. You get a review, you flex about it. Okay? Your journey as an entrepreneur is not a marathon. It's a marathon, it's not a sprint, actually. Sorry. It's a marathon, it's not a sprint, okay? Flex about every little win, okay? And social media is there for you to hype yourself up, okay? You got to recognize and celebrate your achievements, whether they're big or small. They help to fuel your persistence, okay? It keeps you going. You have to have a positive mindset and be strategic about it. The founders who last are the ones who remember where they started. You started from humble beginnings, and now there you are. I made my first sale. I have 10 reviews. Yay! So you should celebrate every win. Okay? Keep that in mind. So let's talk about future legacy and giving back in your brain as an Afropreneur. So the African business landscape is evolving. So technological advancements are reshaping how African business operate. Consumer behavior is shifting towards purpose-driven and sustainable brands. So brands that have a purpose, a mission, a vision, they thrive or they're thriving. Okay? The demand for ethical and culturally authentic products is growing globally. So this is a good time for you to get to yes, Tanya says celebrate your exposure and you will grow. Correct. You got it right. Okay. So founders who adapt to these changes will lead the next decade. It will be very successful. So you should also lift as you climb. This is what I'm doing now. Okay. I've been in business for a little while, a couple of years, yes. And now I'm giving back. Okay. I'm hosting webinars and I'm trying to help others do what I do because I see a reason to uplift others and show people the pathway because there are a lot of people with ideas. They just don't know where to start. Okay. So you should lift others as you climb. Okay. And that's going to make you more successful. So established founders have a responsibility to mentor the next generation, particularly young women who are just starting the journey. Okay, if you're a young woman, it doesn't have to be young, anybody. It's a good thing to serve as a mentor. Okay, you should create a robust support network and foster an environment for innovation. Your success is most meaningful when they create a path for others. You should do that. You have to lift others up as you are rising. You should share your journey and you should be honest about that, not just highlight. So true leadership means sharing both your triumphs and your challenges. Inspiring others is not about projecting perfection. You don't have to be perfect. Now, social media, everybody's perfect. No, you don't have to be perfect. You have to share on social media your highs and your lows in your business. Okay? In this way, you will be creating a community that uplifts and motivates others. Your story, including the difficult moments, can become a permission for someone else to move forward. They can be like, I can do this. She had this experience and she's still here. I can do that. So, yes, we should share our journey as we go on. Okay, so let's talk here. Let's pause a little bit and talk about Yah'den Enterprises. Yah'den is me. So at Yah'den, we believe that fashion is not just a style. Okay, so that's our story. That's my story. It's culture. Okay, every items we market connects individuals to culture. As a purpose, we have a mission and a vision. Okay, and we're looking to leave a legacy behind. Okay, Yah'den honors tradition and supports artisans across Africa. We are Pan-African. So we are not stuck to a particular region. I mean, when you decide to do your business, it's a great idea to stick to a particular culture or particular region of Africa that resonates with you. But we are Pan-African. So we have products from East Africa, West Africa, South Africa, everywhere. Okay? But we support artisans all over the continent. 10% of every sale goes to charitable causes, both local and abroad. So we support charitable initiatives locally and abroad as well to uplift the underprivileged. So this is not just a business model. Yah'den is on a mission. Okay? We're on a mission to have a positive impact, both local and abroad. And it's a model that any African-inspired brand can build into the DNA, and that will make you successful. Okay, so if you've been listening today and thinking, I really want to start my own African brand, but I don't know where to begin. You had an idea. And I'm sure that's why you're here tonight. Okay? I have created something special for you. Okay? A special program for you. I've taken everything that I've learned building my own brand, Yah'den, from sourcing authentic products to branding and actually making sales. And I've put it into a step-by-step 6-week program. So you don't have to figure everything on your own. Okay? And now I'm going to introduce to you the Afropreneur Brand Blueprint. It's a 6-week group program that is going to take you on a 6-week journey and getting you started in your own, or getting started with your own Afrocentric brand. Over 6 weeks, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to guide you through. I'm going to find you real African suppliers, okay? So you can be able to source your products from authentic African suppliers. I will help you create your first product line. I'm going to help you build your online store. I'm going to help you market and attract your first set of customers. And I'm going to help you prepare for your official brand launch in this 6 weeks program. So what you walk away at the end of the 6 weeks, you will have a defined and a positioned brand that is uniquely African inspired. You will have direct access to a network of trusted and vetted supplier resources. Your first product line will be fully developed and ready to market. You have a solid online store foundation built and ready for sales. You will have a strategic marketing plan designed to attract real paying customers. You will have a complete launch plan that is ready for immediate execution. So this program, what makes it different? Okay, it's not just theory. It's a real blueprint from a real founder, myself. Okay, so you're learning directly from someone who has built an actual Afrocentric brand. I've worked with some African suppliers. I've created products that they sell. And this is the framework behind my brand. So I'm using my blueprint to help you build yours. So if I was going to do this one-on-one with you, everybody on this webinar tonight, one-on-one, if you sign up for a one-on-one session with me, it will easily be a 2K experience. But I've put it into a group program, okay, to make it, a fraction of the cost, right? And you will get the same knowledge, the same framework, okay? So let's recap. Within the 6 weeks, you'll have 6 weeks of live sessions, guided implementation, and hands-on support. The bonus, like I said before, is a personalized African supplier list. You'll be getting a whole copy of my ebook, the full edition. The ebook is a guide. So when you're not in class or you're not doing the program, you can go through the ebook and you get tips on how to actually manage and grow your brand. Okay, you get a full copy of that. So tonight I'm offering this program for only $497. And this offer expires in 48 hours. Okay, expires on May 2nd. If you enroll early, you receive your bonus. The bonuses that I mentioned before. So you have to lock in your spot in the next 48 hours to get the discount. Okay, and like I said, let's talk about important dates. The early bird ends on May 2nd. Enrollment card actually closes on May 5th. And the actual course starts on May 14th. And that is for 6 weeks. So if you have your vision, the blueprint is the course. Okay, so true founders are the founders who succeed, or brand owners who succeed are the ones who take action. So you need to take action to get started and get your idea out there. Okay, don't wait to join later, or you need to start doing something that's powerful, purposeful, and profitable. So make sure you sign up as soon as you can. So there's a QR code on the screen. You can take a photo of the QR code. It's going to take you to the course page so you can sign up. You can save that link. So if you're not ready tonight, you can sign up in the next 48 hours. So scan the code. And there's also our contact number on the screen if you have any additional questions, and our email address. If you have any additional questions, you can email us or call us or text us.
All right. Well, Francis, we thank you so much for all this invaluable information. You've given us the blueprint, you've given us golden nuggets. And I want to know, does anyone have any questions before we end tonight? We'll be happy to take a few of your questions. And I know sometimes, Francis, even, just setting up a website sometimes can cost like $2,000. So for 497, you're walking them through. Someone can have a website, but then where do they start? So you've given them the blueprint. You're going to give them almost your trade secrets. They're going to know exactly who to contact to get all of the information, and then you're going to mentor them so they can be successful. You're going to help them with the launching. That alone is priceless. So okay, so we do have a question that came in. So the question is, I'm interested, but I feel overwhelmed. Where should I start?
So that's completely normal. Honestly, most people feel that way in the beginning. The key is trying not to do everything at once. You can start with clarity, what you want to offer, who is it for, why it matters. Once you have the foundation, everything else becomes easier. Okay? You can build step by step. You don't have to have everything figured out today. Okay? Just take the first clear step. Yes, thank you, Laurie. Thank you. Thank you. Laurie says, thank you for both your time. Yes, thank you. Great information. Yes, I'm happy to deliver that. Yes. Okay. Yes, take your time to decide, Tanya. Take your time. Yes, that's great. That's great.
We have another question coming in. So, do I need to already have a business or a product to join the course?
No, not at all. You can come in just with your idea or even just an interest, on getting started. What matters most is your willingness to learn and take action. Some people are starting from scratch and others are refining what they already on what they already have. Okay, both are perfectly fine. You just need to meet yourself where you are and build from there.
Okay. And I saw a question, how often are your 6-week programs? I am traveling soon.
Yeah, so it ends. So we start on May 14th. So the first program is going to run from May 14th to 6 weeks after that. And we'll start again probably at the end of that 6 weeks. We'll just restart the process. It's going to be rolling on a rolling basis. Yes.
Good question. Good question. And I also see, how do I know if my idea will actually sell? That's a very good question.
Yeah, that's a really important question. Instead of guessing, you want to look for signals. What are people already buying? What problems are they trying to solve? And how your idea fits into that. Okay? It's less about having a perfect idea and more about understanding your audience and positioning your offer in a way that connects with them. You can always test and refine as you go on. Nothing has to be final from day one. Okay? So start where you are and refine as you go on.
Okay. All right, there's one more question. I don't have a big budget. Can I start successfully?
Yes, absolutely. Many successful businesses start with intention and a strategy. It's really about being resourceful and making smart decisions and focusing actually on what moves the needle. You don't have to have everything upfront, but you can build gradually and reinvest as you grow.
Okay. There's another question. What kind of support will I get during the 6 weeks? Good question.
Absolutely. So support is very important, especially when you're building something new. Okay. You want to be in an environment where you're not just learning, but also you'll be able to have questions, get clarity, and you will stay accountable. Okay, so having guidance along the way can make the process feel less overwhelming and more structured. This helps you stay consistent.
Okay, we have another one.
Oh,
Thank you for your question. If I'm serious about launching my brand, what is my next step?
So your next step is really about your commitment, okay? Deciding that you're ready to move from thinking about it to actually building it. Once you make that decision, it becomes about putting yourself in the right environment, following a clear process, and staying consistent. You don't have to rush, but you want to be intentional about whatever you do next. Mm-hmm.
Okay. It looks like that's our last question. Francis, do you have any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
No, just make sure you have our contact number on the screen and our email address. So if you have any questions that we didn't answer tonight, feel free to email us or message us. Take a screenshot of the QR code because within 48 hours, the early bird ends. And yeah, that's it. That's it. But thank you for joining. I appreciate everybody who's on here tonight. I got really great questions, really great ideas. I know you're ready to start. And I'm here to help you. I'm here to guide you through the process. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Akut. Thank you, too, for joining. Thank you very much.
And thank you, Francis, for all of your wisdom. And we thank everyone so much for joining us tonight. Take care, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.